Hey, hey, January 12th, 2021. It's a rather sunny, warmer day here in DC. How is everybody today? Hopefully very good. So, even though we've had a lot of static going on and a lot of things, government and a lot of people being suppressed from and so on, and don't let that fear get you, okay? Because this is very, very powerful. And it doesn't mean you need to scream and holler, but you need to collectively get together and say, hey, I don't think so. I didn't come this far, and nor did the ancestors before me come this far for me to go that far back and get ziplocked again. Not happening. So with the energies being that way, I've really detached from all craziness because you get caught up in the making sense of things that honestly don't make sense. And then you're also gathering everybody else's intel and you're not tuning into your own. And also what I have found is a lot of people that I had, originally kind of followed, I noticed their intel started changing because they're not grounded and in tuned. So they're getting mixed messages, and trust me, my antenna picks up on that like that. So with that being said, the last couple weeks I've been kind of calling in my indigenous ancestors to come forth, really work with me in Mother Earth. And I had that confirmed by another healer. And so today when I went to go run my errands, I was calling them in, and my great uncle's face appeared. And I thought to myself, are you helping my guides? And I got real clear, oh no, I'm one of your guides. So my great uncle lived with the Indians in the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s. And he collected all kinds of things. And also during his early adulthood, he had a fever that left him deaf. But he could read your lips like nobody's business. So in that lickety-split moment of all that coming together, I could see his face, I could see everything. I decided that I was going to come home and I was going to take one sensory out. That was my hearing. So I dug up some earplugs and I went for a walk, got to a tree, and just stood there, and some things were being shown to me. And then I realized that staying against this tree for the period of time that I wanted to commit to this today, standing there wasn't going to be very comfortable. So I decided to walk back home and get on my deck. And I did so with my earplugs. But as I was walking home, I could feel my body vibrating with each step. Something I really don't hear with my ears. It's an inner hearing, an inner feeling. So I got home and I went back out on my deck and I got a cushion and I got myself comfy and I just zoned and had some things shown to me. And I'm so looking forward to doing it again and again and again, because the more often you do it, you put yourself in a place where they know, oh, this is her devoted time. We're going to work with communicating with her. And so they'll figure out ways to communicate with your transmitter, your antenna to God. And it doesn't happen unless you really devote your time to it. And then once you get that skill going and have mastered some of those things, you'll get things in motion. So while you're driving, while you're walking, while you're doing things, you'll get things in motion. I get tons of messages in motion. Tons. That's why I do walking meditations to a wooded area and just sit. And that's my food for the day. I don't care about intaking food. It's like that is, since COVID has occurred and we've been on housebound most of the time, as well as jobs don't have the availabilities they've had before. It's been, I want to call it a luxury. I really do. It's been stressful financially because it's just me, but I have not lost my faith in trusting that every month everything gets met, and I'm not doing without anything. And I still buy cake and I eat it too, because why would you have your cake and not eat it? That doesn't make any sense to me. So put some chocolate on that cake too if you like. But anyway, my point to all of you is, while you are energetically making these changes, you can make them even more if you just back away from the electronical sidetracking. It's a distraction. It's a sidetrack. Plus the fact that energetically, all these things, your televisions, even your remote control, your phones, your laptops, your computers, all have an electronical thing that do interfere with your energy body as well as your physical body. So I cover up my TVs that I have. For the longest time, I didn't even have one in my living room. And I decided that I was going to buy one 2 years ago, a 50-inch, and put in my living room so that I wasn't always in my bedroom, because that was no fun. So I had my living room painted and put up a couple more pictures and made it so that I didn't have one foot out the door all the time. Like, oh, I'm not going to be here very long. I'm going to leave. So I feel nice and settled in, but I keep my TVs covered. And at night, I turn my phone on airplane mode and I set it away from me. And the TV that's in my room is also covered with a little blankie. So I would strongly suggest that while we are going through this window of things moving, all this other stuff that's happening, with governments and all these things coming to the surface, those are going to occur. And if you don't align yourself, you're not even going to be able to handle them being what they're doing and occurring. So regardless of what happens here, it's what happens here that's going to help you work with what's happening over here. Okay? And I know there's a big issue about being silenced. I get it. But let me tell you something. And this has been told to me like a hammer on the head from my guides when I've got myself in crazy mode about what's going on. And then when it actually occurred on the 6th and a few days later about being silenced. And forget the First Amendment Act, okay? Forget that a company's doing it and not other things, okay? That's a bully. Oh, I have more money than you, so therefore I'm going to tell you whether you can speak, and then I'm going to decide if I like what I hear. And yeah. So with that being said, I know my guides have said to me, and in my inner core, my inner core says, I didn't come into this lifetime to get gagged. I didn't work on clearing my 5th chakra on every physical and energetic level in this lifetime, and to gain more sight and insight with my spiritual divine God self to have it all locked down. But for all of you who aren't seeing the bigger picture, this all has a trickle-down effect, and that this has power in groups, not in yelling. Just standing in a group, peacefully saying, I'm not ordering from that company anymore. I'm not allowing this to happen. Because see, certain people have gotten a lot richer since COVID's happened. And money doesn't make you the boss. It doesn't, okay? So if you may agree with why they did what they did against the person they did it to, you really need to think about the trickle-down effect. Because if you can allow it to happen to a high-ranking official without permission, just because you're pissed off doesn't make it right. So once you get your emotions, that anger, bring it in, you'll see that there's huge long-term effects on that. So the key here is to sit still and to allow your guides to come through. Now, one of the things I also noticed that was really helpful for me with putting the earplugs in is I could still hear things. I could hear planes and cars and birds and things like that. I just didn't hear them as acutely. But what I did hear acutely was my breath. And it really helped me align because I could feel my breath. I could feel the vibrations into the lungs and the fact that I needed to go a little deeper. So practice that. See how you do with it. I think you might like it. And then I'll add some more things that I'm going through and trying and playing with and tweaking and having fun. But in the meantime, it's me, myself, and I, and a lot of my guides that like to come through and share things visually and auditorily and things. So when I say auditorily, it's an inner hearing. It's an inner hearing. It's an inner knowing. I've always just known stuff. I don't call myself a psychic or prophetic, or I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a future teller. It's not what I came here to do that I know of. I can semi-see things that are going to happen. This was long before 2020, but in a way that helped my own intel, right? My own intel. So this is about tapping into your heart and cleansing out all of the things that, the riffraff that doesn't belong, the electronics and everybody else's opinions, gossips, and bearing false witness against each other. That crap's got to go. That's moral. Find your moral compass. Tune into that moral compass. Your guides will really help you then because the moral compass is of the heart. All right? Much love and light to each and every one of you. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell, and hit like. Go back to my other videos, watch them. I'm sure they'll have some information that might be helpful. Like them too. Feel free to share them. And till the next video.